The Donald Trump chief of staff fiasco is coming to an end in a sense, although it's also only the beginning, in hilarious fashion. You might remember that Donald Trump previously slammed Barack Obama for the number of chiefs of staff that he had. Trump is going to surpass that number in record time, but I want to put that hilarity aside for a second and focus on the people involved here. Chief of Staff John Kelly is heading out. He was fired / quit / forced to resign. We don't really know, but he's leaving, has not been getting along with Donald Trump. He was headed, Trump was, in the direction of selecting Mike Pence's 36-year-old chief of staff to replace John Kelly. Pence's chief of staff said, nah, not interested. I'm actually going to leave politics altogether at the end of the year, and that's why I can't take the job. All of a sudden, he has no interest in being in politics after being invited to be Trump's chief of staff. So then Trump brings in Chris Christie, former New Jersey governor, met with Chris Christie late last week. Chris Christie says, nah, I'm not interested. It's not the right time for my family, which I believe. I just don't think there would ever be a good time for Chris Christie's family, for Christie to be the chief of staff to President Donald Trump. So then Donald Trump started considering his own son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who himself may end up indicted by Robert Mueller as part of that investigation. But also it would seemingly violate nepotism laws to hire your own son-in-law for an official position at the White House, particularly like chief of staff to the president of the United States. Just thinking about hiring Jared Kushner is bonkers, but Trump was not only thinking about it, he was thinking about it seriously. Maybe Jared's not doing quite so well fixing the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the opioid crisis, which was going to be his other big thing. I don't know. But ultimately, Trump went away from selecting Jared Kushner and has instead settled on Mick Mulvaney, the Office of Management and Budget Director, who will start as acting chief of staff in January when John Kelly leaves. Hilariously, Donald Trump ended up settling on the guy who called Trump a terrible human being. This is what Trump could come up with. Someone who attacked the core of what Trump is before being hired by Trump. Mulvaney, by the way, is an outrageous extremist in his own right. He previously said Donald Trump is a terrible human being. We actually have the video. Let's take a look at it.
That's a 4 years we can't take. Yes, I'm supporting Donald Trump. I'm doing so as enthusiastically as I can, given the fact that I think he's a terrible human being. But the choice on the other side is just as bad.
The White House asked for comment on that. No comment given so far. Mick Mulvaney is horrible, by the way. Owes years of unpaid taxes, Pat. Claimed to be against growing the federal budget until Trump hired him, then blew up the budget to its biggest ever. We covered him, I think it was maybe like 6 or 8 months ago, Pat, where he wouldn't meet with lobbyists unless they had already given money to his campaign, effectively selling access to himself. He's a perfect fit for Trump, were it not for the fact that he called Trump a terrible human being.
And let's not forget, Mick Mulvaney was also the interim head of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and completely gutted it. And so much so that people working under him decided to leave because they were not doing a good job at protecting consumers and going after lenders. And you'd think that Trump, well, any other president, any other person would say that these comments were made a couple years ago before the guy worked for me, and he did such a great job as budget director and head of the CFPB that I'm going to let it slide. It's water under the bridge. But we know Trump to hold grudges. We know that loyalty is so important to him. I don't know if Mick Mulvaney's the right choice. I don't know if he'll be able to stick around too long.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any chance that this is Trump's last chief of staff this term. I just don't see it. I think he's not going to last. He'll last longer than Scaramucci, I think. But I don't believe that he will be made the permanent, because he's going to be acting chief of staff starting in January. I don't think that this is the permanent chief of staff for Donald Trump. If you disagree, let me know. Again, ideologically, he's so whacked. And morally, he's so corrupt that he is a good fit for Trump, other than the fact that we know Trump doesn't tend to like people who insult him or have insulted him in the past. So we'll see. It's anybody's guess at this point. One of today's sponsors is privacy.com/Pakman, which is a free service that I myself use. Really useful in many different ways. Takes just a few seconds to link your debit card to privacy.com. Then you can create virtual credit cards that are linked directly to your bank account, and you use those virtual credit card numbers to buy things online, which protects your actual debit card so that it's not spread all over the internet. And one of the best things about it is how their mobile app and browser extensions for Chrome and Firefox make it really easy to use. Let's say, for example, that I'm signing up for a David Pakman Show membership. In the credit card number field, I already see the privacy.com icon. I just click it, choose which of my virtual credit cards I want to use, and the credit card number, expiration date, and security code are automatically entered. I can put in any zip code I want, and I'm done. And if you try to use my credit card number that you just saw on the screen, it doesn't matter because I've already deleted that virtual card, and that's the beauty of privacy.com. There are a ton of advantages to using a free service like this. For example, you can sign up for as many free trials as you want, then just delete the virtual credit card you used and never worry about getting charged for it. It protects you from getting hacked. It protects you when companies are hacked, which happens all the time. It is all completely free. All you have to do is click the link under this video to get started. And for a limited time, they're giving everyone in our audience $5 towards your first purchase when you sign up using that link.